viewers from wherever you're watching us from around the world. You're watching QTV, the Gambia's first private TV station, and we are broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue. My name is Aliou Cisse, and it's now time for your weekly State of Affairs program. Well, the ECOWAS Protocol on Free Movement, right of residence and establishment, which has been in place for decades, allows ECOWAS citizens to move freely across borders without the need for a visa. However, challenges such as inconsistent implementation, border security concerns, of course, and lack of awareness among the people have hindered its full implementation. Well, members of the ECOWAS Parliament's Joint Committee on Trade, Customs and Free Movement, Social Affairs, Gender, Women Empowerment and Persons with Disabilities, Legal Affairs and Human Rights, Political Affairs, Peace, Security and Africa peer review mechanism are currently having a week-long meeting in Banjul to deliberate on the state of implementation of this very important protocol. And joining me this week, I have someone who has been on this program for almost two times, and this is going to be his third time on the program. I have Senator Edwin Melvin Snow Jr. of Liberia, who is the chair of the ECOWAS Parliament's Committee on Political Affairs, Peace, Security, and African Peer Review Mechanism. Senator Snow, good to have you on the program once again.
Aliou, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure being with you.
And also on the program, I have Honorable Veronica Kadisise of Sierra Leone, who is also the chair of the Gender Committee. Honorable Sister, good to have you on the program. Good
evening, and thank you for hosting us.
Well, I'll start with you, Senator Snow. Could you elaborate, like I said, the purpose of your meeting in Banjul?
Well, first, let me take this time to thank the people of the Gambia, the government and people of the Gambia, the National Assembly, the majority leader, who also happens to be the fourth deputy speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, for a wonderful organization. So our meeting here is basically to talk about the free movement of people, the establishment of residence in the ECOWAS member state. That's a protocol that had been signed many years ago, but we noticed that there are still hindrances. Our people are still going through hardship, especially traders. Our market women, business community, they travel around the region and they go through a lot of hardships. So we thought that we should come to the Gambia as one of our member states and have a meeting with the people. So today, for example, today's meeting was different. It was a town hall meeting where we met with trade leaders, marketing associations and others, and we talk about the issues they go through. So this meeting is very different, and we got some hard fights, some very tough responses from the people. And we will be taking this back to Abuja, where we will make the necessary recommendation to see how best we can improve the life of our people. But again, the issue of free movement and right to residence in the ECOWAS member state has not been fully respected over the years. So it's our way of reawakening ECOWAS, our way of rebranding ECOWAS, and our way of getting the hard fight from our people so that we can make the necessary decisions befitting of our people.
And Honorable, the meeting ends on Friday. How is it going so far?
Well, it's fine as far as I'm concerned. You know, this is a very good start for the new establishment of the ECOWAS. Since the inception of ECOWAS in 1975, this is a very good system that we have started to bring the parliament to the people so that we can sit and listen to them and encourage them and tell them the essence of the formation of the ECOWAS Parliament. It is going fine so far, and I'm very pleased with the turnout today and the previous days, because there is some amount of cooperation, especially to our women, because my concern is I'm the president of the women in the ECOWAS Parliament, and also doubles to be the chairperson for Gender and Social Affairs and people with disability. If we are talking about business, trade, free movement, I think we have we are the vulnerable, the women. They are the vulnerable people, and we are affected so deeply. So when they are there today, and we let them talk in their own language, in their own dialect, so they express themselves. I was so pleased. Because all the time, if we continue to be speaking English, or we sit in our offices, we sit in the town hall, or we talk to ourselves. But this time, we came out, and they spoke eloquently in their own tribes. So they were very much happy, and issues came out. And those are the issues that we are going back with it, and we present it to the plenary and we discuss it, because it is a universal problem all over this free movement of people, especially the business people. And who are the most sufferers is the women. And I'm coming in the angle of the women. So to me, the meeting is so fine, and there's cooperation.
And for you, Honorable Senator, like you mentioned, I mean, we are seeing those images live. I mean, what happened today at the Semega Jane Hall, the turnout, I mean, what does it tell?
I was very impressed. I was impressed by the turnout, not just by the leadership of the commerce of the Chamber of Commerce, the Labor Union, ECOWAS Citizens,
the
marketing, and all of that.
I think we had I was surprised.
The turnout was very good, but
yeah.
what I was impressed with the ordinary people,
Yeah.
especially the marketers, the women,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
They spoke the mind without script. I mean, they spoke from the heart, you know, explain what they go through along the highway. And this is not just unique to Senegal and Gambia. This is a West African problem. But our case study is in the Gambia today. We focus on the Gambia and Senegal border. But then, of course, we're going to do a study around the region and see how best we can solve this problem. This is an issue problem. I remember many years ago there was an ECOWAS summit of head of state where they had a thing called the ECOWAS taxi, where you see the custom taking bribes from commuters and all those things. And the head of state made a commitment to fight that, but nothing has changed. And this is why this time around, like my big sister, my colleague just said, this is new for us, because most times we go into a country, we either go to the best hotels, or we go to the conference center, or the National Assembly, and we speak to people up there. But today we met the Marketing Association. We met women that spoke. I mean, they were not afraid, and they spoke their mind, and we respect the views, and this is something we really need to act on, or else it will just get worse, because after giving them all the hope today, if nothing changed in the next few months, then it was just a useless process today.
And Honorable, for you, what was your key takeaway from the interventions, I mean, this morning?
It's the frank talk between all the unions. We have traders union, and there are so many unions who were invited in that place. And the frank talks that came out, and what they envisage, how they are treated at the immigration, and what are the things they envisage, the problems they envisage. You know, I sat there listening to like one woman who vent out her opinion, her problems that he envisaged as a trader. And you know, women, you know, we are 70% in the homes, not only in works, in the homes. If you treat a woman that way, you know, and also a thing that came out from, I think the market union chairman, he said, in fact, he spoke, he came in the defense of the woman who said she was not going to pay. You know, things came out, and he said, one other woman said, I will not pay, because the woman knows her right. And these are the rights we want other women to know. And these are the rights that we want other people to know. If we are, you know, we are all in it together. When they say ECOWAS, we in the West Africa, we should work together as a team, because it's the taxpayers' monies that they are using to pay the levies. So these taxpayers, we should protect them. And that is why we are here. You know, the problems in the borders is universal, it's all over. So we are doing this as a showcase. This is our first time to come to the people, and in fact we are going tomorrow to the very border to see, because we know sometimes if they see these big people or parliamentarians or ministers, they tend to change, you know, their dynamics. But when for the average person, we want to see how they treat them. And that is what we are going. We are not only going there to meet them, to interview the people who are working there, but also we'll talk to the average people who are there. So with this of their problems, we'll collate them. This is not the first place, and it is not going to be the last, as you heard from my colleague. This is a new start, and we are going to make sure we follow it up. We'll go to the other borders to see their problems. Then we collate them, and we try to bring them, and we get a resolution out of that, because we need to talk to the immigration officers. We need to talk to the other institutions who are responsible. So if we are talking about free movement, leave the people to move freely, because we are West Africa. Don't say you have to do this, or you take visa to come. I have to take visa from Sierra Leone to Gambia. Then you have to have obstacles if you want to go by road. If you don't have money to pay by air, if I want to come by road, you should go first to go and do this. If you have the authentic documents to come, you have all right to come, because you are coming from ECOWAS. It's heart-rending today when we hear some, stories that we are coming from the people, the women, how they seize their properties. If you don't pay, every 10 kilometers, you meet checkpoint, and you pay. If you don't pay, they seize your business. So we want to eradicate some of these things. And that is why we are here as a team. And it's a very formidable team. We make sure, we are not going to say we'll eradicate it totally, but we'll make sure we carry it along, and we'll make sure it will stop by the grace of God.
And Honorable, earlier on, you mentioned the issue of, supplying leaders expressing their commitment. But why is it taking so long to translate this commitment into actions, into concrete actions, like you have heard from Honorable Kadi Cisse?
Ali, the issue is the mindset. Yeah. Our people, sometimes most times the head of state mean well, but there's a trickle-down effect. So, you have an immigration officer that believes that his assignment at the border point is for him to take salary every day. Yeah. So no matter how much the commander tells him or the head of state says through national television or whatever way, they will still go to what they're used to doing. So this is why we need to do more spot checks. We need to do more patrol. We need to do more of some of the times you get in a taxi. And when these things are happening, you recall or you put them on the spot. And once that happens more often and they get changed, they get dismissed, they get disrobed, the possibility of reducing it, like my colleague just said, eradication is maybe it's impossible, but we can reduce what our people go through. I have stories. For example, a few months ago, a group of Liberians from the Lions Club, they were leaving Liberia and they decided they were going to do a road trip. So they took the car from Liberia to go to Togo, where they had a convention. And their biggest regret was going by road. They were harassed and intimidated at every checkpoint along the road, through Cote d'Ivoire, through Ghana, and then into Togo. They even wrote a formal complaint to ECOWAS. So these are things our people go through. You have in Liberia, you have somewhere called the Maryland Harper, which is in the southeastern area, far from Monrovia, but closer to Cote d'Ivoire. There are business people, that do cement, rice, through that border. And they explain to you the hardship, not even respecting the ECOWAS protocol. We've made representation to the governments of Cote d'Ivoire, we've made representation to other governments, but this is not just about Gambia and Senegal. It's not just about Sierra Leone and Liberia. It's not just about Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea. It's not just about Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana or Togo and Ghana. It's a West African problem. Even Cotonou, Benin and Togo, same problem. Before they had a crisis. So this is a problem that is all over West Africa. And we need to hit it because there's no need of ECOWAS or integration. If our people out there, if I'm going with I have a diplomatic plate, may have security, they wouldn't bother me. But it's not about me. It's about the ordinary people, our market women, our students. Our people should get in vehicle and say, look, I want to take a drive. I want to drive from here to go to Abidjan. I want to drive from here to go to Guinea-Bissau.
With your driving license.
With your driving license. But then you are afraid because what is going to cost you bribing the immigration and custom officers along the way is more than buying air ticket to fly there. This is not the ECOWAS or we envisage for we and our children. So this is why we want to have a hands-on approach. I know most times, people watching this show, when you hear ECOWAS, people get reluctant, say, oh, it's ECOWAS again. But this is our responsibility.
But is it because they are not that much involved?
Yes.
Like we are doing now?
Yes, it's possible. Yeah. So most times, people just hear things. Yeah. They don't see the reality. Yeah. Today, I've been in ECOWAS for 9 years now. Today was one of my best meetings in the Gambia, where I saw traders. I people firsthand giving you the explanation, the experience. And fortunately, we had two ranking members of the Senegalese parliament that were there when Gambians explained the hardship to go through in Senegal, what happened to them. Sometimes the vehicles are parked for over 24 hours. They have to pay someone that is set in the vehicle just to negotiate and bribe along the way. And that has a trickle-down effect. Because if you are bringing in a sack of water and you have to pay at every checkpoint, it affects the price. It affects the ordinary person. So those things are things that we need to, and those MPs from Senegal, they were shocked, I'm sure, in a lot of ways. They were disappointed, but they made strong representation that they will go back home, make the necessary representation for a change. And I want to say to the people of Gambia, people of West Africa, that we will endeavor to ensure change come and change comes soon.
And Honorable, why is it important for someone who is watching? What are the advantages of respecting these protocols of, free movement, right of residence, right of establishment? Why is it important?
Well, firstly, we want people to understand what is the essence of ECOWAS. And some of this protocol, this free movement protocol was signed in 1979. So we believe at this time we should be talking about something different, not taking us back. You know, the revolutions came out today when people were talking that, oh, we never knew that ECOWAS was existing. Some of the business women, they said, we don't know, because we had problems with our neighboring countries, our sister countries. And somebody came out, there was a problem between, there is always problem between Senegal and Gambia in the border. And you know, sometimes when you go to the French-speaking countries, they will say, oh, this is what your English-speaking countries do to our people. So we are going to retaliate. And the other French people, the other English people will say, oh, when we are there, this is what we want to, this is what we are doing to our sisters or our brothers. And this is what we don't want. If we are ECOWAS, we should be speaking with one voice. We have common similarities. We eat the same food, almost the same food. We intermarriage. We talk almost the same broken English that we speak, like our common language, that is Creole. If you speak English or speak Creole here, people will understand. We have Sierra Leoneans who are here, who teach their children, and we have people who are also in Sierra Leone who are, like in
they
Senegal.
say the same names and surnames. Like
surnames.
you and I, you are Sise, I'm Sise.
Yes,
that's true.
Exactly.
And
I'm Sise in the
interestingly,
Gambia.
our own first lady in Sierra Leone is from Gambia.
Yeah.
You know, you see the relationship, we don't want it to be stale. And when one of the ladies who said, oh, the Senegalese, when you go there, if you speak French, they tend not to understand. You know, they will do what they want to do, 1000 francs or 2 francs. They will tell you, except you pay. We don't want that. Because these immigration officers are being paid from the taxpayers' money. And we want this to stop. If the person doesn't have the authentic document, you have all right to intercept and see if the documents are not correct. I think that is your duty. That is not your duty to be taking monies from them. If they ask you to pay receipt, to give receipt, will you produce it? That is part of corruption. And in fact, the country will lose. The country is losing. Because if there is something that you pay by receipt, let it come to the country. That is why we are crying about hard economy or difficulties or this. Because one person carries the bulk of it and put it in his pocket. And this is what we want to do. Why is our people suffer? So this is what we want. We don't want it to continue. We want a cordial relationship between the member countries. It's not only about Liberia and Senegal and Banjul. This is to showcase. But we have similar things in like Liberia, who is close to Sierra Leone, Guinea and Sierra Leone, Benin and Nigeria. We have series. These are the things. But we are going to use this as a showcase. And we are going to nip it on the bud. We are going to be vigilant. We are going to go there. We are talking about overtakes, overthrows, or whatever. This is the most critical thing because we are talking about free movement. Leave the people to move. Leave the people to move. so that they can go and buy their goods and return. Because what we are saying, if we had had this single currency, I think that would have helped us again, but we are fighting for it. So if we are fighting for that, when the people come to the border, give them chance to go. They don't need to take visa. You don't need to take visa to go to Sierra Leone or take visa to go to Liberia, because we are all in it together. And this is the essence of ECOWAS. We want you people who are watching to know that ECOWAS is a system, it's a unity that all of us in the West region, we have 15 member countries, but 3 are yet, they have dropped, but we are negotiating so that we join together. We want them, we need them, so that we all can form a formidable team. West Africa is very strong. Yeah. So we want these things to stop. That is why we have this trade, the legal, and the gender affairs and other committees. We are here in Banjul to see how we can take this case alongside. It was good for these women and for the other people who are saying, what I saw there today, some men we are scared to talk. I don't know. Some women we are scared to talk.
Some men, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but when we ask them, speak in your own language, they'll translate it to us.
Yeah.
You see the women standing up.
Yep.
They said what they want to say.
Ghanaian women are naturally strong women.
Yeah.
Yes, they said their minds. And that is what, and we took note. We were very, very much pleased. Personally, I was very pleased.
I saw you nod your head in appreciation of what they were saying. I was
that is what we want to see, because we want to see, like one woman, he said, we want to educate our children to be honorables like you people, to be educated like you people. I felt touched. You know, those are the things that we want, because we are talking about 30%. We have fought for the 30%, but we is 70, 30. Women are suffering. So if they add, for instance, if you go to buy water and they start to give you, you start to pay, who suffers? It's the end user. Yeah. The end user will suffer, because if I'm profiting like 10,000 CD, what's your money here? Dollars. If my profit is 10,000 and you take 2,000 from me, I will remove that 2,000 from the end user. Then they start to shout, oh, the economy, the country is this, the people are not doing this. And the very people in that border are creating this problem. That is corruption to the highest degree. So I will ask the stakeholders who are there, if you have corruption commission here or whatever, anti-corruption or whatever, if you have, focus your attention to that place. If possible, let there be a representative of ECOWAS person to be there to see in some of ECOWAS office. So if there is any problem from other member states that is coming, like you are coming to Banjul, let you carry your complaint, because you can't wait to come all the way in town. They can settle your complaints there. And also, if possible, we have CCTVs, cameras, so that they can see what is going on. So that's my own take.
And honorable to you, in as much as, I mean, you are advocating for us to move from ECOWAS of states to ECOWAS of people, I mean, certainly you mentioned the importance of having this member states respecting this free movement protocol. But what are some of the vulnerabilities in just allowing people moving in and out of your country? I mean, yesterday we had the head of the Gambia Immigration Department, and he did highlight some of the security concerns.
There are security concerns, and that's why the Committee on Political Affairs, Peace and Security is part of the Joint Committee. So we are not saying do not carry on your regular security routine. No. Okay. I mean, someone could commit crime in Senegal and run to the Gambia. If all your borders are open, there's no checkpoints, there's nothing, I mean, you could be, bringing in criminals into your country. We are not saying don't carry on, but don't take bribe from people. Because what they do is not to check the quality of the goods, the source of funding of your goods, or if it's substandard, or if you are a citizen of this country or not. All they want is to take money from you. So they take your passport. There was a story today where they took someone's passport and just put in the box and spoke French in Senegal and said, well, this one is good business.
I have someone testify.
And then, not knowing he could speak, he could understand French. And after that, he went to them and said, look, I'm an ECOWAS citizen, this is my passport. So we have to stop it. I mean, what we are doing, look, that's why I'm happy we did it in the Gambia. in West Africa, our country's culture, language, marriages, like my colleague just said, we are intertwined. But Gambia and Senegal, that relationship is even more than most other West African countries who are neighboring each other. So if Gambia and Senegal will be having such a problem, imagine what's happening in other countries. Imagine. You know, you speak Wolof together, you have relations, it's so deep. And this is happening here, then what's happening in other countries? And that is why today, again, was very important. Firsthand, we got the facts from there, and we must do something about a change, or else our people will rebel against us. When you hear about ECOWAS today, most people, when you call ECOWAS, they get upset. Yeah. People don't want to hear about ECOWAS. So we now need to, and this is not just about we, the members of ECOWAS. You are a member of ECOWAS because you are a community citizen. Yeah. I'm a member of ECOWAS because I'm a community citizen, and then I'm a member of the parliament. But we all have a responsibility to this union. You cannot fold your arms and say, oh, it's ECOWAS. You are ECOWAS. So, and that's why taking ECOWAS to the people today, going in the market, meeting with our people, and like Honorable Sister just said, they were shocked. They said, hey, we've never heard about this before. We didn't know that you had this. Where are you coming from? Where have you been all along? So we need to do this more often, but we need to find a solution to mitigate the problem, or else it will just blow off one day, and it's not right for our people.
And Honorable, don't you think the limitation of the parliament also is playing a part in this whole thing? You don't have the powers or mandate to make laws. Isn't that also a limitation on the side of the parliament?
I don't want to say that. I don't believe that.
Okay.
Because all this problem is sensitization.
Okay.
Let us embark on sensitization. Let us tell our people, let us educate our people. And also the implementation. And people should monitor. We are saying all this. Yes, we are parliamentarians. That is the last sort. If we have all the information, we'll go there at the plenary, we'll put it together, then we talk, we make it a law. But the heads, we send it again to the heads of state, because the heads of state will do their own. Of course, we have different constitutions, but this constitution, again, they can sit together as West African president, heads of state, they to come together to look in some of these things. But they cannot come out as a body. We are their full soldiers. That is why we are here. You will sensitize our people. And talking about free movement, the immigration, you have all right to check. Sometimes they are criminals. Criminals will be coming from Sierra Leone, or they will come from Gambia, or they will come from Guinea, neighboring countries to come. Not that when we have said now it's free movement, you let them go. No, ECOWAS members of parliament came here the last time and they say, let us open the gate and let them go. No, you have to do your work. The only thing you had from Honorable is bribery. Some criminal will do something in Guinea, then we run away to come here. Then he bribe you, and he gets with that. Yeah. And I was happy the last time after that problem we had on the 26th of November. Some members, some people, some criminals, we are still in Guinea, and they were captured and sent them back to Sierra Leone to be tried. These are the things that you monitor them, you see what is going on. Not that we said free movement, you leave your gates open. And we say again free movement. What about we talk again about the cow rearers. They will come with their cows, leave the corridor, so they can find way to pass, because again, it will create problem again into the free movement. They should have corridors to pass with their cows. Those who reared cows, you go, they will not disturb destroy their plantations, because we had that, I think, in Benin, when they said between Benin and Mali, something like that, they were carrying their cows and they destroyed their plantations. So people fought, they were killed, all those things. So when we are talking about free movement, at the same time, we look how they can use their corridors to move with their cows so that they cannot destroy any plantations. These are their works, those who are in the borders. And sometimes they use another route. If we are saying now, don't bribe, then you use another route again. It's another system. So they too should open their eyes like owl to see all the porous areas, so they cannot use those areas, because we have said free movement. The only free movement that we are talking about is trade. When the traders come, they have bought their essential goods, leave them to pass if they have their authentic documents and their receipts. Because they will show you their receipts. Sometimes maybe some people will go there and carry loads and steal them, and they give them to business people to come and sell. If you have your receipt, come, you show your receipt to the border, then they will allow you to go. So these are the things, these are the corrections that we want people to make, to know that we are not only saying free movement. You can move freely. You cannot take permits, you cannot take work permits, you cannot say residential permit. Go and take the documents that you are supposed to take if you want to stay in another country.
And Honorable, yesterday, if I'm right, either the Gambia's Minister of Trade or the Speaker of the Parliament herself was talking about the issue of harmonizing our national laws. I mean, because when you talk about rights to residence, rights to establishment, perhaps maybe the laws in the Gambia regarding this thing and in Sierra Leone are quite different, or even Liberia. So how do we work around this thing, harmonizing our laws to make sure the laws that open in the Gambia on how to, have the rights to residence and establishment is the same laws in Sierra Leone, Liberia, Nigeria, and the rest of the...
We discussed that yesterday when I presided,
Yeah.
and we talked about it because every country have their own laws.
Yes.
And sometimes our head of states go to these summits and they sign treaties. They go to the National Assembly or the Parliament and it's domesticated, but then it does not synchronize with the laws of the nation, of the Constitution. So we need to, it cannot just be about the Parliament and the executive. We need to have a tripartite approach where the judiciary will be a part of that, so that if we sign a treaty that is domesticated, it goes through the legal process and it becomes a law also of that country. Because someone could go and say, hey, I have this ECOWAS treaty. Yeah. Then the immigration man can come and say, well, this is my constitution. It's not the same. So yes, harmonization, but a tripartite approach where the judiciary, because most times the judiciary is left out of what we do. And once it comes in conflict with our national law, then it becomes a problem. So yes, that was something we discussed yesterday, and the Chief Justice of ECOWAS have been doing a lot of rounds. I was at a meeting here in the Gambia a few months ago. They met in Sierra Leone about a month ago. They've been going around to see how best we can harmonize our laws with the different treaties we sign. So it's work in progress. It's not a, it's not a one-day thing. It's not a quick fix. It's work in progress in the process of us rebranding ECOWAS and giving a new package to our people that they can trust. And when you hear the name ECOWAS, you can add smile to your face and you wouldn't be irritated by just hearing ECOWAS, which is fast trickling down in our community.
Honorable, what's your take on the issue of harmonizing our national laws?
Well, as you have heard from my colleague, all countries have their own constitutions and laws. But at the same time, this is why the members of states meet. Because if some of these things that came up today, we are carrying it again to the plenary, we discuss it, then we carry it to the commission, and when the heads of states meet, they will come together and look into these laws and look in some of their laws to make sure they synchronize and bring them together to see what can fit for the benefit of West Africa. Because there are some similarities in the laws, like what the laws that we have in Sierra Leone is quite different from those here, but some are similar. Some are similar. So that is why the heads of state always meet after our discussions. They will meet, then we'll do our resolution, we present it. This is our work. We present our resolutions to them. They look into it because they have their own laws, their own legal advisors. Then they will advise them. They will advise the heads of state so that they tell them if this is suitable, this is not suitable. But I believe with what came out these few days, I think it's similar. It's cut across. It's the same. So I think if there is any law that they can build on, if only we carry these things together, they can make good laws out of this.
Senator, earlier on, Honorable Kadi Veronica mentioned something about, some of these officials at the borders ask for bribes and corruption, which is a huge problem, not only in the ECOWAS region, but
it
even
was stated by the people.
Exactly, yes, that's what I'm saying. And you know, most people, you know, have experienced this thing. How do we address the issue of corruption?
Corruption is
It's a cankerworm.
I mean, you know, most
And
times
several speakers mentioned it. They were
most times-
repeating the same thing,
most times
that
when
they are
we talk-
forced to pay monies.
You know, I listened to this radio promo in one of our neighboring countries. One of the colleagues in Liberia, Julius J.
Yeah.
He had something in the air. So the boy went to school, and the classroom teacher said, "You need to buy books or something, or pamphlets." I'm trying to rephrase it. And then the teacher said it costs $300. But if you are buying in bulk, it would cost 300 naira, actually, because it was in Nigeria. Then the boy went to his mom and said, "Mom, teacher said we should buy a pamphlet and it costs 500 naira." The mom said, okay. She went to the dad. Told the dad, say, "Hey, your son just came home and he needs to pay 2,000 naira for the pamphlet." And then the dad said, "Oh God, this president is just suffering us. But that's corruption." It started from the low bar. First, no, the schoolmaster told the teacher 300. The teacher told the student 500. The student told the mom 1,000. The mom told the pa 2,000. So then it goes right back to the president. Say, "Oh, this president is suffering us." But the corruption started from the school to the student to the mother, then took it to her husband. So corruption, most times when you talk about corruption, people just look at we in public life. Oh, they are government officials, they are corrupt. But this is something that comes from the community, from the home, from the upbringing. And if we fight that from the grassroots, from our upbringing, it will help society. Even in the mosques, even in the churches, you have this kind of situation. You know, people go to mosques. Sometimes you're afraid to leave your slippers or your shoes at the door because when you come back, somebody else might carry it. They're just from praying. Or you go to church and you go to take communion, you're afraid to leave your telephone because by the time you go and come back, there will be no telephone. But that's in the church. So this is something we need to work on. And it's not just about, most times, people watching this show now will say, "Oh, they are official, they are corrupt, they're eating money." Go and check them. You go to the market to buy something, they buy less and take some. The drivers go to put petrol in your vehicle, you give them money, they buy less and take the change. So it's something that we need to, is deeply rooted, and it's not just about the government officials as people perceive it to be.
And Honorable Kadi, how do we address this? Do you have a solution?
What I will say here is let us start, if we really want to eradicate or to minimize corruption, we start it from homes, like what Honorable said. And also in schools, I would advise, if it is possible, to add it in a curriculum.
Okay.
As a subject, let us have an anti-corruption, somebody who teaches, like during civics education, they can bring all that. If you do this, this is not right. If you take 2 loans, like what Honorable said, if they ask you to pay 5 loans, then you have, because sometimes they don't understand. You can be doing corrupt practice, but they don't understand. They just say, "Oh, I'm profit," or "I'm going to do profiteering." All those things are corruption. Even what is going on in that border is corruption to the highest degree. Even those people who are selling palm oil in the market, and they are using, they will buy fake palm oil, the ones that are not too good, then they use ink to make it red. It's corruption. And if they want to sell salt, they put candle in the cup to measure sugar, and it's corruption. If they sell pepper, they'll cut the cup. Why can't you sell the pepper in the full cup and just sell it whatever? Then you cut the cup and back it, then you turn it to sell. That's corruption. So let us have it in schools as a subject. Then the school now, if you teach a student at that kindergarten stage, if she becomes a parent, she will not do it. she will minimize it. See what Honorable explained. The guy came to ask. He said, no, I'm going to ask my husband, so that when he gives me that, I will give the boy this small change. Then that one will remove. Tomorrow I will buy salt. That is corruption. Tell your husband that there is no salt tomorrow, or this rice is finished. But if you say, if he gives me that, I will add it. That's corruption. So we have to start this in schools as a subject. Let us add it in the curriculum so that anti-corruption is not only for government officials. They eat money. If they say don't pay, they change, especially in the accounting. They change zero to another, you know, when we are checking the appropriation. They change zeros to one, to this, to that. You know, there are so many things. It's not only about government officials. So the parents, we have a role to play. Teachers, we have a role to play. My own take is, please, let us try to bring anti-corruption. Or if you don't want to have teachers to come and teach, once in a while, let us have talk shows so that we can educate our children. So that we have symposiums wherein we invite people to come and talk to our children. So at the end of it all, if they become parents tomorrow, they will minimize. But as at now, corruption is a cankerworm that is eating into the fabrics of the government.
And Honorable, in terms of monitoring the implementation of these protocols, I'm sure you are here, you're gathering your information, I mean, hearing from people that are really affected. Who should take the lead in terms of monitoring the implementation of these protocols? Well,
this is it's a joint approach. So how do we monitor it? We work in partnership with the ECOWAS Commission. And then, of course, we work in partnership with the national authorities. So ECOWAS will not just come in Gambia and go to the border points or go to the checkpoint. We need to have a synergy. We need to work together, coordinate our efforts. So it's a joint approach, and it's not just something that one group can take on and implement it. We have to work together. You need political willpower. If you don't have the political will to do it, you don't have the moral authority to do it, your people will suffer. So also we need to look at the salary structure. So you have an immigration at the border who thinks that if he gets $5 from 20 passengers going across the border in one day is more than his monthly salary. So we need to look at that as well. So there's a lot of things to put into this, you know, and we need to do it, because at the end of the day, our people are suffering, our marketers are suffering, our students are suffering, the poor people are suffering. If I went down to, I've been between here and Dakar a lot of times. If you went in an official car, you get to the checkpoint, put the gate down, you pass. But if you were to go there, you wouldn't have that same courtesy. You would have to spend money, you have to get down, you have to walk, you have to leave your passport. So we need to, it's not one group that can take the lead. We need to do it. We have to have the moral will and political will to achieve this.
I'm talking about the political will. Honorable Kadi, I'm so someone who is watching this program, like you said, most of the time they tend to blame those in power for the failures in all this. I mean, the lack of implementation of the protocols, the issue of corruption. I mean, you had Senator talk about the need to pay them well. What's your response to that?
When my colleague talked about political will, if there is a political will, everything can work. You know why Rwanda has become so prominent? When there is an issue, or when there is a policy, or when there is something to discuss, when we went there the last time, that was what they told us. The last man in the village has his own input. What Paul Kagame does, he will carry this message, they will take it from one stakeholder to the district, from the district to the chiefdom, to the village, and ask the last man. So when everything is put together, their ideas from the village, he will give his own idea, from the town, he will give his own idea from the district, then to the city. Then they will sit together to pick the sense out of the nonsense that they have collated. And when that happens, you will grow. That is why Rwanda is growing, has grown, because everybody is involved. After the genocide, everybody is important, everybody can put input, make his own input. So if you are asking about this, yes, there will be a political will, The government cannot do it alone. So this is a concerted effort wherein everybody is going to be involved because we are all suffering.
But
At the end of it all,
we have seen in most of these countries, I mean, you always advocate the need for women involvement in, in decision-making processes, but in most countries, that's not the case. Even in parliament, you look at the women quota, in cabinet, it's dominated by the male quota.
Well, yes, that is very important.
That's something you've always been advocating. That,
yes,
you know,
and we have succeeded in Sierra Leone a bit because we are fighting. If we started with 50%, it did not come. Then we came down to 30%.
Oh, okay.
And we fought for it. And what my president told us the last time,
and
he
you've
said,
achieved that 30%.
Yes, what he told us was, when we went to Rwanda, we went to Kenya, and we got all their informations because they are more than 50%. When we asked them, they told us this and this and this. Then we came and went to president, and he told us that if you want it, go for it. And that is a political will. Because he stood by us to achieve. Now we are boasting of 30% of female representation in all walks of life. It's not only parliament, in all walks of life. And in fact, we have set this to parliament, that is to ECOWAS. That is why now it is there in our books that every parliament, every delegation should send at least 30% of women's representation. And if there is anything that you want to do, like you go to ask for monies, you are going for this, there should be a representation of a woman. And our country now, we have this executive, 30%, even in the offices, there are gender desks in the office. I cannot vouch for women that we are 100%, but we can do it. He can attest it.
And I'll bring you in here, Honorable. I know this is not the main reason why you are here in the Gambia, but I mean, how does the ECOWAS Parliament, plan to address the growing dissatisfaction in the region regarding the lack of, enforcement of two-term limits? I'm asking this because you are the chair of the Parliament's Political Affairs Committee.
What we need to do is to work on our constitution. My colleague just talked about Rwanda. Rwanda don't have term limit. Yeah. So we need to work on our constitution. We need to deliver for our people. But if constitutions are seen as being ambushed to give us unlimited term, then that's the problem. So again, I subscribe to two-term limit. But if the country decides that this is what we want, and it's freely decided by the people, not manipulated, you respect the wishes of the people. I believe that the issue of constitution needs to be, and that's why the Gambia just presented a constitution to the National Assembly.
It's gazetted. It was rejected.
Okay.
And then government has regazetted, redrafted another one, not the original one which was presented by the Constitutional Review Commission. And there's a controversial debate going on right now. It's yet to be presented to the National Assembly. But what would you advise?
We are closely following the process.
Okay.
That's why, as a parliament and chair on the political committee, we disagree with the position of the ECOWAS Commission when they commended Gambia for a new constitution. I think that was premature.
The timing
was not right. So at the level of the parliament, we thought that after gazetting it, it goes to parliament, it goes for referendum. When the people have spoken and you now have a new constitution, then ECOWAS can come in and say, congratulations for a new constitution. So I think the position from the president of the ECOWAS Commission, with all respect to him, but as the parliament, we thought that it was premature, it was too early to make a statement from ECOWAS without the final copy of the constitution being presented as a working document for the people of Gambia. So again, constitution is very important. And when constitutions are manipulated, when you use your political stem to change the constitution to fit to suit you, because laws are not made for individuals. Today you are on the stage. Today my colleague and I in your studio. By the time we leave this studio, you will have two other guests. We are not going to be here permanently. Or tomorrow at this time, if your show is repeated, there will be new guests here. So you cannot set the rule to benefit Honorable Veronica Sese and Senator Snow. You must set the rule to benefit everyone. And that is why, as ECOWAS, and that comes to your second question, I know we're out of time. Yeah. That is some of the reasons why most Gambians did not agree with the ECOWAS Parliament. But when Gambia came to ECOWAS and said, we want to form a tribunal.
Yeah, special tribunal to prosecute the former president. And one ECOWAS to,
We respect that. Yeah. It's with the wishes of the people of the Gambia, it is their right to form a tribunal. Our concern at the ECOWAS Parliament was, when Gambia said they want to partner with ECOWAS, they want ECOWAS to be a part of this tribunal, we are saying no. Form your tribunal. ECOWAS will be the referee. Because don't forget, Aliyu, if you use ECOWAS as a party to your tribunal, as a partner, so to speak, the president of the ECOWAS Commission will disburse funding, will do the selection of your judges, so ECOWAS become a party to it. If there's a dispute tomorrow in the Gambia, what will be the role of ECOWAS?
You can be a player and a referee at the same time.
What will be the role of ECOWAS? So most Gambians did not understand the role of the parliament. They thought the parliament don't want the people of Gambia to have a tribunal. No, we want you to have a tribunal. People must face justice. Victims, the questions of the victims must be answered. The perpetrators must face justice. But if you say you want ECOWAS to be a partner, you know, I walked into a home a few days ago. You know, I'm married to a Gambian. So I walked into a home a few days ago, and my uncle-in-law said to me, "You are very unpopular in Gambia." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Gambians say you say they should not have the code." I said, "No. We all agree that Gambia should have a code, but do not use ECOWAS as a partner." Now, look at what happened on the flip side. ECOWAS issued a statement commending Gambia for the constitution prematurely. Now, Gambians are upset with ECOWAS. So they are seeing ECOWAS now as a party to what has not been accepted by the people. So ECOWAS must always play a neutral role. We must play a neutral role in the dispense of our duties so that people seeing ECOWAS as living above the fray and not being in support of a particular regime.
Interesting. I know it's quite interesting, but we're running out of time. But just, Honorable Veronica, quickly, I mean, if you have anything to add to what Honorable Snows has just said and your final message to those who are watching this program.
We're talking about Gambia and their tribunal. I don't know if that is the area you want me to add.
Anything which he has just mentioned.
Well, we've run at it because we don't want ECOWAS to be the player, as I said, and at the same time the ref. So that was our problem. Not that we want them to champion their cause. Yes. We want them to champion their cause. Let them own it. Because if you say we want ECOWAS to be part of it, tomorrow they will direct you what to do. But do things at your own, then we will be there to see, okay, you have done this, this is good, then we'll say congratulations. But if you leave it to ECOWAS, you will not have the full hand. What you want to do, they will just come one day and say, hey, you have done this, please stop this, don't do it. So that is why we said, let us leave you to do your own thing, so that you can handle it. Not that we don't want the part. Let them bring them to book. Bring them yourself as a country. You have the right, you have your constitution to bring the people, the perpetrators. So we don't want ECOWAS to be involved. Tomorrow, then they will take 50% or 60%, because if all the countries come, when you say ECOWAS, it's all the member countries.
Thank you so much.
Maybe the person will go to go and find refuge to Liberia. Then Liberia, the person will be there and say, please protect me, protect me.
Thank you so much.
If you own your own business.
Thank you so much, Honorable Veronica Kadesise of Sierra Leone, who is the chair of the ECOWAS Parliament's Social Affairs and Gender Committee. It was good to have you on the program. And of course, Senator Edwin Melvin Snow Jr., who is ECOWAS Parliament's chair of the Committee on Political Affairs, Peace, Security, and African PR Review Mechanism. It was good to have you on the program as well. Well, viewers, with that, we bring an end to this week's edition of your weekly State of Affairs program. I was your host, Aliou Cissé. Until then, keep respecting the ECOWAS protocols on free movement. It's important. Bye-bye.